Yeah, here we go. It's a non-victory pod. Non-victory pod here.
Yeah, I'm already getting tired of these.
The weather was as terrible as 24-hour, but we only gave up one goal. So we'll call
and it wasn't raining.
There you go. It wasn't raining, and it wasn't raining goals either. 1-0 Vancouver. We shouldn't feel too bad. They are the best team in the league, which is a weird thing to say about Vancouver. But 1-0 them, the bad guys. And no shots on goal, which is the most upsetting bit for us. Not a single shot on goal, which is unacceptable to say the least. Dennis, you watched the game, I'm assuming, even though you were out of town?
I did. I watched all of it in its majestic misery.
Yes. That's the worst game I've seen since I traveled to Chicago on a cold 16-degree weather game where none of the teams looked like they wanted to be there. It was the worst thing I've ever seen.
I was at that game as well, Marcus.
You're right. But we didn't know each other.
I'll remind you that it started sleeting at one point. Yeah. It was windy.
It was very Chicago.
The stadium was mostly empty, and there was one shot on goal, and it was a 0-0 tie.
Yes. I would have taken the 0-0 tie, but Vancouver, again, best team in the league at this point. And our defense, we found the fatal flaw, guys. We cannot handle crosses.
It seems to be the case.
So, and I don't know how to fix that. We have height on the team, so what is the issue?
Let me ask you here, do you think it might still be a chemistry thing on the crosses, or at least that might be part of it? Because for transparency here, I didn't watch most of this game because I was doomed to be on the Capo stand this game because our normal Capo Arjun was not available to do it. And so I got stuck up there, which I don't mind doing, but it does mean I don't really get to watch the game. And I haven't had time to watch the highlights because my mom's birthday was this weekend. So
happy birthday, Mom.
But what I saw in the highlights where we got beat on these crosses, a lot of it was, someone lost their mark, which is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
But then the second person just completely whiffed the second header or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my example would be on the actual goal where Marco loses his mark coming back. And I think it was Shaq Moore was also in that spot to try to intercept it like a zone, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he completely missed. So I don't know if that's a weird like miscommunication on who's supposed to be marking who, or if that's just we just straight up got beat athletically on that or not. I don't know.
Well, we switched the center back position with Ibiaga playing on the left and Osaze on the right, which is interesting, but it didn't look like it really helped all that much.
Oh, and I'm sorry. By the way, I want to point out that the two people that were on that header that got headed in on the back post were both of our outside backs, which I don't know if that's a set play thing for defense or if that was a weird positioning thing.
It was in my opinion, it looked like a lack of effort. Yeah.
Okay.
It's always, and again, I think next game, I think Ibiaga has to get swapped out. I think we got to give. He came in late when we did a back three. Second game in a row, back three, guys. I think this might be a thing that happens.
Well, look, it's not a bad formation.
No, this back three was at least better because we have three natural center backs.
Right.
Here where we were playing Farfan. And it was like, that was not. I think Paul was actually one of the back three one of the time. So at least this time we have three natural center backs we can try to do a back three with. And it made sense in this particular instance because we were one down late in the game. So we're sending an extra guy forward.
Right, but did we really have the extra guy to send forward?
I do want to talk about that.
Yeah, I would say this year, this is where Tafari excelled last year because I think he had 3 headed goals late in games. By just sending him up there, like we're just going to sky the ball.
It was the Matt Hedges role, right? Late game, just comes up and does something for some reason. Yeah. But I don't know. The team looked frustrated. The team looked beat.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing they were doing was working. And I don't know if that's a combination of Vancouver being good and us maybe not being as good, or if it's just Vancouver being good, or if, this team just doesn't have their chemistry right yet. I think one of the things I noticed a lot this game, the passes were off between Lucho and Musa especially. There was a lot of those little passes that they're 1-2s that Musa would bounce back to Lucho, and it would just barely not get there or something. And that was super frustrating to watch. And I think that turned into both of them getting frustrated. and you see Lucho making bad decisions or giving up on the wrong ball or maybe being too aggressive on a thing because he's frustrated. And I saw the same thing with Ramiro. Ramiro in the second half, man, just started tackling everything everywhere.
Yeah.
I do look real frustrated.
Ramiro,
Granted, most of them were good tackles, but not all of them.
Yeah, Ramiro got really frustrated because they kept passing around him. Like there were a couple of times he dropped down to be the triangle to pass out from the center back, and Ibby would pass the ball to Shaq or pass it backwards, and he's like right here. Right?
And we invited the pressure like the old teams used to do, like last couple of years, which is crazy.
And this is what they did last year, which I thought was relatively wide, but we had EMND, where it's like they're going to press you. It's your job to fall into that dead space. Now, Siki did this a little better late in the game where he's like, there's no one over this. That's the messy thing, right? I'm going to glance over my shoulder. Is there space here? Now, you can find the space, but that doesn't really help if the center back has terrible feet and will just immediately pass the ball backwards and then turn around and be like, oh, you didn't find the space. And then I'm sure if I'm the 6, I'm finding the video. I'm like, so this is the space he said I couldn't find, and I was standing right there by myself. Now you can't do that because you have to foster good teammates. But I'm petty, so I would definitely be finding all the videos of like, this is the pass you miss. This is where you should have passed me, right? This is where the defender blew past you. But again, this is why I never made it past college. So,
Oh, but look, a good leader in the locker room is going to make that happen at least.
Right, he's going to make that point without saying the way Marcus did.
I mean, if you're in the right part of like the hierarchy in there, you can be a bit pissy about it. Like it's okay, you've earned it, right? Like I don't think anybody would have been upset with someone like pulling someone up against their locker, be like, "Hey, man, you passed like garbage tonight."
Yeah, it helps. It helps when you have a Champions League in your back pocket,
right?
What they say to you like, "Oh, you just don't understand." I'm like, "Sir, trophy captain."
Yeah, you're telling me Lionel Messi's listening and went in his locker room at this point.
Yeah,
right.
You know, I don't know. I still don't understand. I would money whip him to come back if I'm the GM. Hey, whatever is left in
Julio is getting his green card. We've got another international slot coming.
And Yara's not playing anywhere either. He didn't sign anywhere. He's just enjoying his extended offseason.
Yeah. So.
I'm not saying it's likely, but I wouldn't be mad if they announced it. I'll be honest.
Yeah. I mean, our window's open for another
month?
2 weeks. No, first April.
Is it really? I don't even remember. I thought it was like a month.
April. Yeah, I think it's first week of April.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys want to dissect this game in any specific way? Or do you want
I don't ever want to talk about it again.
Going like this.
No, it definitely. It was a bad loss because no shots on goal.
Yeah,
but it was an expected loss because right now Vancouver are the world beaters. Like Vancouver is what LAFC was last year, right? It was like
feeling that way.
50-50 chance they're going to win that game.
Yeah,
it's just unfortunate because at home is where we excel. So
that's what's frustrating to me.
Yes,
right.
Like this is a performance I expect on the road.
Right.
It is contradictory because we actually played well on the road, and then we come home and it's like, yeah,
we're definitely seeing now that Houston's garbage.
Yes.
I haven't really followed much of Colorado, but that was a goal fest of a game anyways, which is a bit different. But my frustrations with this game are, one, I don't remember the last time we lost 2 at home. And 2,
2009, by the way, is the answer to that question.
Hey, that's right before a cup run. Let's go. Cup run that we lost. Well, name one we won, but secondly,
we have 2 cups, guys, open cups.
Losing to MLS Cup. Losing to Chicago was frustrating, but like there were goals there and attacks and shots on goal, and you could argue unlucky, not unlucky. We tied to Colorado, but that was goals galore. Losing to Vancouver 1-0 is frustrating to me because I don't know. I was promised shootouts, right? And if I'm going to lose, I want to go down shooting, and we didn't have a shot on goal this game, and that's what really concerns me. The other thing on this game is Vancouver had so many close calls on us.
Yeah,
it could have easily been 3-0.
Yeah,
lots of lucky bounces and stuff. Dennis, you're muted.
Yeah. Rookie mistake. Come on.
Yeah. Oh wow.
5 pods in and we're still muting. Oh, guys, what are we doing? No, to be honest, well, we will come to this later. But what are we going to do now that Paz is flying across the world?
Yeah, and what are we going to do now that
Paz
had his first? I thought he had a decent game, actually.
What was that, Hubert? One more time.
And we're losing Paz right after he has what I at least thought was an all right game. Like, I think he was decent. I definitely don't blame this one on him at all. So kind of bummed to see him go as soon as we're like, okay, I'm comfortable with Paz again.
Yeah, he made a couple of excellent diving saves. That one he pushed over the top where he just, flexed back over himself. I thought he was going to clip himself on the top bar there, and he just managed to push that thing right over the top and knew exactly where to be. And I know a few people were a little upset that I talked a little crap about Paz's performance last week. So let me settle down the entire nation of Indonesia. I appreciate Martin Paz and everything he does, and we cannot wait for him to come back home.
Yeah.
Dennis out here making enemies. I get the sense that y'all don't want to talk about this game much.
No, we have to fill time. No, I'm just kidding.
I do have a few more points I wrote down. So if you want me to just
go for it.
Yeah,
just talking so y'all don't have to worry about it, I can.
Yeah, go
at least
ahead.
to an extent, and y'all can just comment. I actually thought Shaq Moore had a decent game overall.
Really?
Like, he wasn't a world beater by any means, but I thought overall he had a decent game. I really did. Didn't watch the whole game though.
Okay. Well, you know where I stand, so like we're in the stadium. I stand. I saw that game. I'm understanding more and more now why we got Shaq Moore for a bag of balls. Because wow. But continue. Well, yeah, Shaq Moore.
No. I thought defensively he mostly did his job. I don't think he got beat more or less than anybody else would in that position.
Yeah.
Like, so I guess him being average for the game made him stand up above a lot of the team. Maybe that's why I thought he was all right. Again, the caveat of I didn't get to watch most of this game.
Fair enough.
I will say that what I did see from Shaq, he looked better defensively than he did going forward, which is kind of unlike his traditional play.
Opposite, right, of what he normally is.
Right. And I think that's what we're seeing out of both wingers, where they're falling back in a more defensive role, but they're not holding their positions well. And I think we're seeing that back out of both backs and out of the wingers as well. You're going to get us a copyright strike there.
No audio.
Okay. But I do think that Shaq looked a little bit better defensively than he has so far this season, but also he didn't get forward the way he should have. And I think he only had a handful of progressive passes, if any. It wasn't a good forward playing game. But again, we said this already. Vancouver is very, very good. They're now undefeated. They've got 3 points in 4 games, and they're on to Champions quarterfinals, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
So Vancouver looks very, very good. This was a very, very good team that came to town and really beat up on us. There was a lot of high pressing on their end. The press was impressive. And we were trying to play the same press and really couldn't compete with it. And so possession was, I think it was almost 2-1 in favor of Vancouver was possession stat.
Dang.
Yeah, it was just a lot of ball control. And my takeaway from the game, and I think the biggest issue that I had with FC Dallas' performances was that they did not adapt. And I think that is, I don't want to say indictment because that's a strong word, but I do think that we did not adapt to the press and we did not adapt to the game Vancouver played. They went out there and they tried to play their game as best they could, and that game just wasn't good enough for Vancouver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Marcus.
I was like, yeah. So I was like looking at the stats. We had 6 shots, none on target, 43% possession, which seemed high in my opinion, 77% passing. And here's the thing, I just noticed this. We had 2 corner kicks and no offsides, right? So that tells me we weren't even trying to break the line. That in fact, no offsides.
That's crazy.
Well, there was a run towards the end of the first half where Caps had 6-7 corners in a row where they just had the ball on our side of the field for just felt like 30 straight minutes. I think it was probably like 10 or 12 straight minutes, but it just felt like this constant attacking pressure, attack. And we just couldn't get out of it, right? Paz had a couple of great saves on those. There were a couple of really good plays in the back. There were a couple of not so great plays. There was one where I think it was Shaq and Ibby were caught up on each other. I don't remember. 2 guys went to ground right in front of Paz, and it actually could have been really ugly had they collided, a second or 2 before that. But again, there is just not a lot of communication on this back line, and clearing the ball was a problem.
how frustrating was it for you guys seeing a bunch of short free kicks working against us after the 2 or 3 years of short free kicks totally being a failure for us?
I didn't know you could do that.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah, what's the
that
short
hurt.
form? I don't what is it like 1 or 2 quick passes and then a cross? Is that
It
how
turns
that
out
works?
that works out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Man, the whole team looked a bit pessimistic, especially in the second half. Making some weird, reckless tackles here and there, or just clearly pulling a guy because they were frustrated. Like it was clear across the whole team. And the worst thing is watching your captain Lucho do it. We know he has that in him, right? Like we knew he would do that every now and then if he gets too upset, too frustrated. Just hoping it doesn't happen as often. I guess the goal is to not be losing, which I guess is the point of the game. But I don't know. I do feel like we missed a Paul Arriola type player to try to
Yeah.
keep everyone's mood up a little bit or keep the team fighting a little bit differently than just getting upset.
Well, Seattle's missing Paul Arriola now too.
That's true. But I don't see the emotional leadership in this team yet.
Well,
You're right.
we made the point early in the season, like the most tenured person here is Pax, and he's out. Right? We don't have any long-term FC Dallas people, including the coaching staff. Like, there's no one here for Poppy. There's no one here. Like, everyone's gone. This is a fresh start.
Well, no, we have is it Keyshawn?
Yeah, Drew Keyshawn's still here.
I thought we had 2 people from the last couple of coaches.
Okay. All right. Well,
I could be, but to your point,
the main people, yes.
Yeah. They're not the people that tend to affect the whole team as far as I'm aware, right?
And rewatching this goal highlight, my favorite person to blame for most things on this team totally missed his marker. So, not going to call any names, but at a certain point is we need to make a switch on the back line. I don't know who it'll be. It's definitely not he's the new guy is worth the price of admission. So
absolutely.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I'm hoping he doesn't get frustrated by his counterpart, right? It can be like I'm doing what I need to do, and every time I look over my shoulder, you're out of position, you're playing a guy on. Like at a certain point, right? Especially if your counterpart is a senior player, he's supposed to be the vet, right? You're 24,
23, 24, right? I can't remember.
Yeah, and Ibby's 31, 32, somewhere around there. Like I'm supposed to be looking to you for leadership, not like, oh yeah. So anyway, you said you had more points. So
yeah, I mean, one more I really want to touch on is
yeah.
the subs have been not great again. Well, I'm not going to blame Siki.
Yeah,
but Bernie was a just non-factor again. Even gave up a few real easy balls, unfortunately. It's starting to feel like the Abilene dream's over, which, at least it might be over for a little while. I don't know. But Bernie again as a sub was as close to a disaster as you could have been without giving up a goal because of him.
Yeah, he's basically a black hole at this point, right? You pass him the ball, the play stops.
Yeah. Well, when he first came on, he started doing a couple progressive things that I thought I was getting excited about. Again, not having watched every minute of it when I was there. And then I started turning around every time the crowd went, oh, it was always a Bernie ball or something.
Yeah. There were 1 or 2 moments where he had open field to run and he stopped. And I'm like, wait, why? Like you're the youthful coming off the bench guy. I need you to run past this dude. Why would you?
There's something going on with him. There's something in his head that is just not clicking anymore. And I don't know if it's something that happened under the Nico administration. I don't know exactly where he went wrong, but it's almost like he's just thinking too much.
Mm-hmm.
Look, for me, I'm going to give it at least until a quarter or maybe halfway through the season before I totally give up on Bernie. Mm-hmm. I want to give Quill his chance to really try to be the whisperer because he really hasn't been with the team that long. And I'll go from there, but maybe I'm going to be a little hopeful for too long, but we'll see what happens there. At this point, I'm waiting to see what Leo Chu has to offer, assuming he's fit.
Yeah, that's the thing. Has he made a bench at 18?
He has made the bench a couple of times. I think last week he was on the bench. No, last week he was out. Mm-hmm. So I think he might have made 1 bench so far. So from what I have picked up around town is that he came to camp extremely unfit. He was the First one to fail the beep test, so he is in coach's doghouse and needs to dig out. And supposedly he was in really, really poor shape to start the season, so that's probably why we have not seen him take the field yet. Something's got to give though, because I mean he's getting a paycheck. So what are we doing?
Yeah. How'd you guys feel about the Pedrinho star? How do you think he did?
Yeah, I think he's a better alternative than Bernie because at least he's proactive. Like his first instinct is I'm going to try to get this goal, which is what made Logan so fantastic last year, right?
Yeah.
Logan didn't play like a rookie. He was like, no, I'm the, as we call him, the big dog. I'm going to try to do what I need to do.
Yeah,
right?
I'm going to try to catch the mail truck.
Yes.
Right.
We'll see what happens when I get there.
Yeah, I was like, when I catch it, let's see what happens. So at least there's that. And I think Petrino might have, like, unless something changed drastically, I think he has Bernie's minutes going forward.
I think so. And what I like about Pedrinho is he's capable of I think FIFA used this in their advertising like 4 years ago. Like he's capable of the moments of magic, I feel like.
Yeah.
Even on his bad games, he's capable of just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'll take that over nothing.
Pedrinho's definitely got talent, and I think there are flashes of that talent coming through. And there was a cross early in the first half where I think it was I could be wrong, but it might have been a Lucho cross to Pedrinho. I forget who crossed over. It might have been Musa. I don't remember, but it was earlier in the first half. It was like in the first 15 minutes or so, and it was just a hair or two off. And again, that front four, or how many guys we have playing those front spots now, there's like 6 guys rotating in and out there. And so there's cohesion developing. But like you mentioned earlier, that Lucho Musa connection didn't look as good this week as it has in the past few weeks. So I don't know if maybe they were just trying to take it to the next level and maybe miss something, but they were also getting pressed immaculately.
Or
maybe that was it.
Yeah, maybe someone's upset about a missed penalty. Like, I told you I should have took it.
Yeah, I don't know. It just felt like the passes were weighted slightly off. That's all it really felt like to me.
I mean, so it's what, 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. It's like Vancouver's a very good team,
right?
And we weren't on top of our game. So
we talked about it last week. We weren't sure how good Vancouver was, although I think we're teetering on they were good.
Yeah.
The record said they were good. We just weren't sure on their competition. I think we're starting to feel a little bit more like, yeah, Vancouver's for real. You don't usually win this many in a row as a fluke, and you certainly don't usually beat Monterrey the way they did. If it's a fluke.
It's not just the fact that they're winning; it's the way they're winning. It's
they look like a solid team. Players like Brian White are making incredible decisions. Like I think on the replay that is behind Marcus right now. No, it's not that one. Where he chooses to chest. Yeah, it is that one. He chooses to chest the ball down into goal instead of passing it. I mean, brilliant stuff. Where another player would try to head it or kick it in. Yeah. The dude's just smart and he's making crazy good decisions.
Yeah. And that helps when you have confidence in your teammates. Like, I'm going to try to do a thing and have confidence that my teammate will be in the right spot to cover or attack.
No fear. Yeah, it helps.
So here's the thing. So you have one more thing?
I got one more thing. Okay, how are you guys feeling about Musa coming back as far as he was now? After the first 3 games, I felt okay.
Yeah.
I feel a little less confident about it this game, and maybe it's just because I think his passes were off.
I think I do. I think what we're seeing is I think Musa is finding himself playing further back because the midfield is not doing their job. You've got Leggett and Ramiro, who had, I think, 0 progressive passes between the two of them, maybe 1 progressive action between the two of them. I don't have the full stats ahead of me, but they look terrible. The midfield is getting blown by every chance that happens. And then, you've got Lucho, who is technically a forward midfielder, and he is not playing defensive midfield in any shape or form. That's not his role. That's not his job. It's not the expectation for him to do it. And you've got these guys coming back, and Musa's following the ball now, and he's just sort of trying to catch up and trying to press the ball. And it looked early where it looked like Musa may have already been running out of legs early at one point, but then there was a point a little later in the first half where he got a good sprint going and he took off with the ball. And I think he just overthought the shot where he probably could have maybe made a good shot on goal, but ran around it. But you're seeing him come back because of the deficiency in the midfield, and you're seeing the back line fall apart because of the deficiency in the midfield too, right? There's no progression. There's no moving forward with the ball if you can't get through the midfield. There's a big disconnect between the back and front because there's just nothing happening in the middle.
Yeah, I think we can say we had no issues with it in the first 3 games because he scored. So coming back to be a facilitator, like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And we have the highlight of the year so far with that 1-2 between him. That was beautiful. The problem with it is that their games like this is the same issue we had with Jesus, where he's up front, he's not getting the ball. So then he's like, I'll come back and try to make a pass. And it's like, well, there was actually one play where he made a pass, and it would be beautiful if he was on the other end of it. Right? It's like,
so the solution is to clone Moose. I got it.
The solution is we need a second Moose.
Yes. I don't remember how it worked, but he came back, made a beautiful cross, and I'm like, oh wait, he's not there. And
there's no Moose there on the other end to grab that.
And it's one, and I think Farrington was not in the right. Like Farrington should have been in that position, but it's like, all right, well, we gotta, and we also need to remember Acosta's only 5 foot whatever. Like he's not
right.
Only 5'2".
Yeah,
he's only 5'2".
We need balls played to his feet, and there have been more than one attempts where they're like, oh, it's gonna. I'm like, no, Moose is 6'4" or 6'3" ish. The other guy's 5'2". We need to figure out how we're gonna play the ball.
Flashbacks to Michael Barrios scoring a header against, what was it, Colorado a few years ago? I can't remember who it was against.
Yeah. So,
I'm excited to see what happens if and when Show gets healthy. If we get to see him back before his loan expires, I don't know what's going on with the man. I know there was some injury and then some sickness and then some injury again. I heard he was in physical therapy recently, so hopefully we'll see Show back before, like I said, before his loan expires at the end of June. So we've got Kaike in the wings waiting to get in country here and see what happens with him, but something's got to give in this midfield here, man, because Leggett and Ramiro are not doing the job, and Siki is not. Siki is an attacking option, but he's not a defensive option for this midfield, and he's not what they really need in that position. I'd like to see Siki get some minutes back on the wing.
No, I need Siki to play a upper 8. Besides Acosta, he's the only guy that will attempt a line breaking pass.
Yeah,
everybody else is,
I just want to see Siki be able to play carefree and not having to worry about protecting the back.
Worry about defense. He plays. Anytime we try to give him any defensive assignment, is like, oh, okay, that's a problem. And now we're realizing this many games in, Romero is not a 1-for-1 for Yemendi.
No. I don't think he ever was. I don't think that was ever the.
We're trying to make that like, oh, we got a international guy. He plays a 6.
We've got a 32-year-old international midfielder because that's the only connection I see.
Yeah, well, that's a fact. But
I think Ramiro's not bad, but you need more than that.
I would have personally loved to see Ramiro and Yara play together. I think those guys together may have been a little bit more dangerous.
I think we're going to hire Dennis as GM. I think that might be a thing.
Oh.
Who would have thought, right? So here's the thing. So we're playing Salt Lake next week.
Yeah, how you feeling about that?
I'm thinking first. Who do we need we can't start the same, right? There's no we won, so we keep the same 11 vibe going. Right. This is where we make some changes. So
I want to see Lawless come in for Ibby. And I don't really care. Let those guys figure out which one of them plays better on which side. But I want to see Lawless get a start. Ideally, Anderson Julio's back in the lineup. I'd like to, this may be a dissenting opinion here, but I would really like to see Pedrinho and Anderson Julio start. And I want to see, as much as he has earned starting minutes, I love Logan Farrington off the bench late in the game. I love the energy he brings. The kid's absolutely 100% earned his starting minutes, and you can't take that away from him. But I think overall the benefit to the team is when Farrington comes off the bench late in games and just comes out like a rocket.
I agree.
Yeah, I could stand that.
So here's my thing. I like Leggett, but I'm thinking we need to give Delgado minutes. That being said, the minutes he's gotten so far, I'm not.
Hasn't looked great.
Yeah. But there are some players like Siki and other players where like they have to play in the game shape.
Right.
For those 30 minutes, 10 minutes, right? Because there's some games where like you come in for 10 minutes, you might not touch the ball, right? So how do I assess you in 10 minutes if you don't touch the ball? So that's why I'm thinking we got to make a change. Like Romario is not doing it. Leggett, to be honest, Leggett needs to be on the wing because as a midfielder, I'm not doing it. It's not working for me. So we got to make some changes.
For me, I'm with Dennis. I want to see Lawless get a chance or just run out at least for a little bit, see how he does as a starter for Ibby, in my head at least. I think you've got to use your players that you have on the bench, whether they're the perfect fit or not. So at some point, you got to give them some minutes, I think, here and there. My concern this game, I think the attack is going to come back. I'm not actually that worried about that myself. Maybe I'm being an optimist. I'm really worried about playing against Diego Luna with this midfield and this defense the way it is. And I think we're going to have a shootout. And
do we know?
I mean, get ready for a back and forth. That's kind of where
I've actually got Salt Lake's numbers up in front of me right now. They have already played 6 games. They played two. They played 2 CONCACAF Champions games. They played a home and home aggregate game where they lost 2-1. The first game was a 0-0 draw. Then they played San Antonio, 4 on them in San Antonio, San Jose rather, San Antonio. Wrong
league, but yeah, got you.
Then they lost the second half of that Champions Cup game 2-1. Then they had their home opener. They beat Seattle 2-0 at home, which is interesting because Seattle looked pretty good so far. I mean, Jesus.
Wait. Have they?
Seattle's 10th. They're the same.
They were last place at one point, weren't they? Well, I guess it's still early, but
again,
I don't know.
Seattle, we both know how this is going to go. Right?
And they've been playing champions as well.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
fair enough.
They're going to suck until August-ish, and then
hit form and kill us all.
I don't understand why that happened.
Sorry, interrupting you, Dennis.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, so we've got a 2-0 loss, 2-0 win at home over Seattle. Then they were home again and lost 3-1 to San Diego, which is interesting because San Diego is still very much a mystery. I don't really know much about what's going on out there other than a little bit we're seeing about the supporter section that we won't get into too much.
What a great.
And then they went down much like the rest of this league. Salt Lake went down to Shell Energy last week and got 3 points on the road in Houston and closed that one out 2-1. So
yeah, but did they do it on a cold, rainy night?
That's what they did on a cold night at Stoke, right? There you go. That's how they come.
So what do you think of their quality then? Do you guys think Salt Lake are for real?
No.
Doesn't look like it from what we're seeing. I think it's a good opportunity for Dallas to get back on track. I was going to say the boys in red, but we don't even have a red kid anymore.
Do you think they're like us in that they've got like some really, really good bright spots, but they're just not a team yet?
My hope is Julio goes back there for revenge game, like, "Ooh, how dare you get rid of me?" type vibes, and bangs in a brace, and I'd love that personally.
I think we would all love that.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I'm sick of that happening to us.
Well, at least now we don't have to worry about Paulie coming down here,
right?
Although, again, unfortunate late in his career, these injuries are stacking up.
Leave the game before it leaves you.
That's a conversation for PAX. It's like
I got to disagree with you. You secure that bag, baby.
He's got the bag a couple of times now, right? He went to Mexico and got the bag.
Get a third one.
We're still paying for Paul, by the way. We're still paying that salary.
But yeah, no, it's injuries are terrible. Injuries late in your career, and I think we all like Paulie. I think we all wish him the best.
Yeah.
And Jesus as well.
Who has not performed up to expectations? Raise your hand if you're surprised.
He has 2 assists, and he's not. Here's the thing: he's not gonna.
I didn't see your hand go up.
Oh, fair enough. He's not gonna surpass Jordan Morris in Seattle, so that was never a thing that was gonna happen, right? He's second fiddle, unfortunately. So,
do we have an update on the Jordan Morris injury? Do we know how long he's out for?
No, I didn't see anything on that come across my desk. So
Well, this isn't a Sounders podcast, I guess, but still.
I know, fair enough. I thought that also, round of applause. We are going to lead the league in lack of attendance this year. I think some USL championship teams might beat us. Our maximum capacity is 11,000.
I'm not convinced Houston's going to beat us.
I think it's 11,004. I think that's the actual number.
Yeah. I'm like 11. Wait, so you took 8,000 seats away on that side? That's kind of crazy. But
it looks and this is the first game I've actually watched on television since I wasn't in attendance this week. It looks terrible on TV. It sounds great. Supporter section sounds loud. The horns are coming through television. Excellent. So shout out to I'm assuming Charlie was there, but shout out to Charlie and the rest of the horn section. These guys are loud and proud, but it looks dismal on TV. It's just a big empty tarp covered stadium, and the weather looked miserable and everything else. So
unfortunately, since we just did construction 4 years ago, when did the Hall of Fame come up? Like, it's not really on precedent for us at this point.
I mean, it was right before COVID, right? The Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it was like 18,
19.
So and Dallas has always gotten a bad rap for attendance. So at this point, the 1 year that was last year where we sold out 80%
every game.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it was a 2-year run of pretty decent attendance.
Yeah. The drone shows saved us, guys. Drones. Future idea, drones.
Who knew?
DBG
fireworks.
DBG drones?
Okay. Not quite in the budget, but we'll work on it.
All right. I need everybody out there to donate to the Beer Guardians Drone Show Foundation, okay?
Drone Show Foundation. So no 2 points, no Trinity game this week. Weather in
Trinity they got stuck in DFW, could not get out of town, so that game has been rescheduled for mid-April.
For all you weather nerds out there, there was 3 or 4 preliminary EF4 rated tornadoes, and I think they're even calling in an engineering team for one of the stronger ones to assess for EF5 damage. So if you're a weather nerd, holy cow.
Yeah, in the Midwest has been between floods in the Carolina. It's been a terrible year. Wildfires. It's obviously this is a podcast about soccer, but obviously thoughts and prayers go out to anyone affected by natural disasters this year. It's
the air quality.
There are lots of issues going on. So I want everyone to be safe and enjoy your soccer. So no Trinity game. We have an away game next week, so we will have our watch parties at Community and Derbyshire.
Also, Trinity plays on Wednesday, I believe.
Let me check.
Yes, they play on Wednesday, the 19th at 6:30. It's an away game, and I do believe Dallas Trinity will have a watch party if you wanted to join them for that.
It'll be at Community. Community's hosting that as well. They've been posting that.
Community. So go show some love for the girls or women. Sorry, my apologies.
Hey, Dallas Trinity is trying to do a lot.
Women in maroon. Well, who are they playing?
Brooklyn again.
Oh, BK. Oh, BK solid this year, right?
Yep.
But they came off a 6-0 loss to us. So
I'm guessing they're going to try to put at least 7 by us.
I mean, you would think.
Revenge is great turnabout.
Real quick on another local soccer note, my Texoma kit came in the mail this weekend.
A little higher. Fire. Okay, yeah. So I need to order mine. We need to make a game up there for sure.
The map of Texoma on it.
Yeah. When's the home opening?
This weekend.
I don't mean to flex my local soccer muscles, but I'll just bust out the Fort Worth Vaqueros kit.
Oh, my apologies.
Wow. Let's go.
Right. I live in Fort Worth.
I need to buy some more kits, apparently.
I got to try to flex. Sorry. I've also got a couple San Antonio kits. That's not local for us, though. And by the way, speaking of San Antonio, Dominic Oduro, FC Dallas legend, coaching San Antonio.
Nice. Yeah, San Antonio is doing all the right things. They have the money. It's just a matter of the fact that no one considers San Antonio a major market for soccer.
I mean, the only thing San Antonio has done wrong is unfortunately be super close to where Anthony Precourt wanted a team.
Yes. They sold it to the Spurs, so the money's there. The stadium is there, although it's on the outer loop, so not really core, but great location with the capacity to expand to, I think, 18,000. So
wow, I didn't know that.
yeah, so he built it. So if you ever go to the stadium, there's actually pillars that don't function for any particular reason, but that the idea was for them just to stack them. So yeah, they planned correctly.
I just thought that was brutalist art or something. I don't know.
I maybe that's what the guy told them, and then later he's like, "Oh, FYI, you can just stack another stand on top of this." But
Yeah.
we need to do one during a bye week. We need to do a USL conversation.
Let's go.
And
So
yeah,
we should save it for May when USL Dallas unveils their branding and.
oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. We can go. Yeah, we can go. Are they having like a town hall? We can go, go and then rock with that for sure.
Yeah, we'll also be able to mess around a lot during Leagues Cup. So
for sure.
Yeah.
What time is our watch party this weekend, by the way?
What was that?
What time is our watch party starting this weekend?
We should be there 7 for a 7:30 kick.
Yes.
Is it a 7:30 kickoff? I wasn't sure with it being
7:30 Mountain Time, so it's really 8. If I'm not, what's it?
You are absolutely right. It's an 8:30 Central Time kick, so we'll get there at 8 p.m. and the folks over at Derbyshire and community will be there with open arms and cold beer.
Yeah. So I want to have everyone. I missed this last week. Like, share, and subscribe, and sign up for all our notifications and social media. We're Dallas Beer Guardians on everything. Including Blue Sky, I think. Have we gotten that done yet? No?
It might be done by the time this podcast is recorded. We'll find out.
So, yeah, Dallas Beer Guardians on everything. Like, share, and subscribe here on YouTube for more content. We're going to try to come out with some more videos. I haven't seen a walk-up video. Did that go down, Hubert? Because I gave him the smoke, so it was supposed to happen.
I mean, it happened.
Okay.
It made the cut of the whole recap video, so it's
no, I'm talking about this game. So I gave him the big smoke instead of the small one, so it was actually
it did happen.
It happened. Okay, cool. So I will look forward to that. Yeah. So like I said, it's recap this game. Terrible, but I don't foresee that this didn't bring out anything to light that we didn't already know. Right. So we're bad at crosses.
Good Vancouver team came to town, took advantage of the holes that we all knew existed, and on to Salt Lake next week. And then you can find the Guardians back at Toyota Stadium on the 29th. We'll be back here recording before then, but our next home game is bringing the Sporks to town. We're ready for Spork.
I'm feeling all right about that game.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay.
Now, if we have a problem in that game, I will hit a panic button.
Facts. And then also, I just wanted to mention this, that we can actually extend these now. They can actually run to an hour, but we'll stick to a tight 45 for the podcast. Because the issue that we were having, we no longer have because they have access to it now. But we'll make it work.
I mean, if you're wanting to fill time, I can talk about my cousin's U12 girls game. Give you a highlight reel on that.
Yeah.
Well, U12 action. It sounds good. Well, you're going to be
our
official
striker. I don't know what to tell you. She's wonderful.
Yeah. Is she Musa just up there banging in goals?
Comparatively height wise, no, but the rest of it, it's close.
Yeah, but for the next home game, let's cross our fingers for better weather so we can actually get some stuff done. We weren't able to cook what we brought out because the wind was not cooperating. I want to thank everyone that comes out, even when the weather's bad. We can control a lot of things, but not Mother Nature. So next home game, I want to welcome everyone back again, and hopefully I'll get to pop this bottle that I've gotten here.
Is that the first home win bottle?
Yes. So once we get that, we're going to pop this open. Also, someone recommended that we buy an assortment of community beer, or does Derbyshire brew? No. Okay, so we buy an assortment of community beer and we crack one open every podcast. So that might be.
I mean, I probably have one in there I could have grabbed.
But we get our sponsor to provide us some beer to crack open.
I woke up 2 hours ago. I can't be popping a beer 2 hours after waking up, and I got fire trading later.
Fair enough. Okay, I mean, you don't have to drink the whole thing. You can
I was gonna say I don't know many sober firemen, so
that's a fact. But yeah, so that's the thing. And then
firemen are gonna be mad at me now.
Fair enough. I mean, so you have the Guam League upset with you. because even they don't want it. Never mind. Yeah. I think last year we were mad at this Israeli league because we got 2 of their players, and I'm like,
Always.
we don't keep them. We don't really. You can. Yeah. Anyways. Well, we want any last comments on this game? Anything that we want to bring up?
Yeah, let's bury this and move on.
Yeah. So on to the next one, Salt Lake on Saturday. Like I said, either location, community, or Derbyshire. Come out, watch a game, enjoy some food, wear the gear, or bring the membership card if you have one, and you get 10% off at both locations. So, yeah, come out, support this. What happened?
When are we expecting jerseys? Do we have an answer on that yet?
No.
Next couple of weeks.
Yes, we once we get the tracking number, we'll have an accurate date, and
Okay.
then we can send out text and email notifications. So again, if you want to sign up to our social media, any social media, or go on the website, DallasBearGardens.com, sign up for the email lists and text lists, and when we know, you'll know. So once again, we missed the deadline, but hey, this year jerseys will be in by December.
So when you guys are ready to order your 2026 kits,
Yeah.
in 2 weeks.
Yeah, so just get ready, and we'll have some new merch. We have some new era hats that we're looking at getting. We just got to figure out the logo. Hubert didn't like the existing one, so apparently we have to redesign.
I want to take that crest and turn it upside down and do it.
Yes, yeah. So we're going to work on that for sure. But yeah, guys, F Houston, Dallas till we die, and we'll see y'all next week at Salt Lake.
Dallas till I cry.
See you there.